morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. This time I'll call the Paulding County Board of Commissioners Work Session for June the 9th, 2020 to order. And Brian, if you bring the list forward. We're glad to have, everybody's a special guest when you have small numbers, right? Thank you, sir. And as is our custom and tradition, we'll stand and have an invocation and a pledge. Gracious God, we just thank you for today. Sometimes it's good just to pause for a minute and to remember who you are and how you guide us and lead us in life. We thank you for all the blessings of life. It's the beautiful time of year that it is, and the ability for us to get out and enjoy it and to exercise and get on the trail. And we also lift up first responders and law enforcement to you and just pray for their protection through this trying time where the nation just seems to be upset in a very deep way. So we pray for recovery from the COVID and from all the unrest. So thank you for guidance and wisdom this morning. In Christ's name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The May 28th, 2020 work session minutes and the May 28th, 2020 board meeting minutes are available for review. Today we have Positively Paulding, one of my favorite things going on in the county, and this is part of the filling of the Richland Creek Reservoir.
At the Richland Creek Reservoir with Russell Kelly, who is the Treatment Division Manager for the Paulding County Water System. Can you tell us about the process of filling the reservoir?
The filling the reservoir is really controlled by the state of Georgia's EPD Safe Dams program, and they allow us to fill the reservoir in stages, and since it's an earthen dam, they control how much water can be added at a time. And we're currently at the first level that they have let us fill to, and we are basically able to fill it in thirds. To get to the full pool elevation of the reservoir, it's actually going to take another minimum of 45 weeks. Soon we'll have Paulding County drinking water for everyone to drink.
I know the main purpose is for our drinking water, but we hear also there will be recreation.
There will. Kayaks, canoes, they will allow trolling motors, but there won't be any gasoline engines allowed since it is water used to treat for drinking. But we will be stocking the reservoir once it's full, and that will, of course, take 2 or 3 years for the fish to mature, but there will be fishing and all that allowed as well.
Thank you, Public Information Team. And that was the first day. There's a lot more water in the reservoir now. I had the opportunity to push the button that started the turbine engine. There's 4 engines. We started 2 of them for that first bit of water you saw at the first of the video to come into the reservoir. Tabitha Pollard, our finance director, is going to make an announcement regarding the 2021 chairman's proposed budget, which is now available. Tabitha, thank you.
Good morning. We wanted to make an announcement that the budget was published June 1st. We have an article in the paper, but we wanted to take this avenue to make sure the public knew. Yesterday, I did go in and make a few changes to the draft that's out there. The only change was some of the 2020 numbers didn't get updated to 2021. So that change has been made, and I wanted to show the public how to get to it and kind of give an ways that you can review it. So on the paulding.gov website, if we can get it to pull up. Well, we'll come back to it if it comes up in just a minute. On the Paulding.gov website, if you scroll to the bottom of the screen, it says Notice of Chairman's Proposed Budget. There's a link there that will get you to the document so that you can print them. The document includes several things that I think there's been a little bit of confusion about. The millage rate, it is posted at 5.65, which is just beyond the rollback. The debt service is 2.2, and the fire is 3.1. If you scroll to the back, there's a list of positions, and in the list of positions, not all of those have been approved. So you have a couple of public safety positions that are included in this budget, but that's all that's actually included. Over time, there's been several discussions that we didn't let the public know what was actually requested. So the information's here for review, but in each department's budget, there is a requested 2021 column and a proposed 2021 column. If you look at the difference between those two, you'll see that some of what was requested isn't there. And now we have it. Okay, if we scroll down to the first page, which is or not the first page, but we have the 2021 compared to 2020 budget by department. And if we go to the next page, we have all the funds of the county that are required to have a budget. And if we'll continue going to the, I think, 3 pages. Keep going. Right here. So you'll see the requested 2021 and the proposed 2021. And not everything that was requested is included in that proposed, and primarily it is within the positions. On the back, let's see, page, if we could scroll down to page 42. Keep going. Right here we have a list of personnel that was requested. Again, not all has been approved. And go down to the next page as well. And we have a list of capital. And this has a requested and an approved, so you'll see what was requested versus what was actually included in this budget proposal. So unless you have any questions. I'd also like to, with COVID-19, normally we have copies available at the libraries and we have a copy out here. We do have hard copies available because not everybody has access to the internet. So if you do not have access to the internet, I can be reached at 678-224-4030, or any of you, if the public will let any of you know, you'll let me know, I'll get them copies, a copy of the budget to be reviewed.
Thank you, Tabitha, for making that available. And would you take an opportunity to run us on through August for the public understanding of what follows?
Sure. So we will have a budget hearing the last meeting in July. And sorry, I didn't write that date down, but it's the last meeting in July, and it's required to be 2 weeks before the adoption. And the budget and the millage rate will be adopted and set at the first meeting in August.
Any questions? Okay. Well, thank you very much. I have no invited guests today. Under bid awards, we have an award, the purchase of a vacuum excavator to the lowest bidder, P&H Supply Company Incorporated, in the amount of $86,000.
This is a piece of stormwater equipment that was requested in the 2020 budget, and George has made the request. Tim Atchison actually received the quotes, and it will allow them to clean some of the storm drains and that kind of thing. That we're recommending award to the lowest bid in the amount of $86,000. And if any of you have any questions, I'm sure George will be glad to explain more about the equipment.
George, would you tell the public how you use that vacuum, please?
Certainly. Chairman, it was purchased under the stormwater funds. The stormwater folks will be able to use it, but also some of the DOT crews who do, drainage work will be able to use it. You'll be able to use water and vacuum to open up pipes that are clogged up. We'll be able to use it for utilities, potholing. It's a very safe way to do that work. So basically just cleaning, excavating, it'll help our operation flow much more efficiently.
Thank you very much. I have no reports from committees or departments, public participation agenda items. No one has requested to speak this morning. Under the consent agenda, it's consideration of authorizing the chairman to approve the maintenance agreement with the Paulding County Board of Education for the maintenance of the traffic signal at the intersection of North Paulding Drive and Burnt Hickory Elementary School. Number 4 is declare the following items listed as surplus and approve their disposal through auction or trade, which is in the Sheriff's Department Unit S98. It's a 2004 Ford Crown Vic, and the serial number is 2F Alpha F Papa 71W04 X-ray 114403. And then consent agenda item number 5 is discuss action to adopt resolution 20-16 appointing Gary Spinks to fill the unexpired term of Al Creighton on the Paulding County Board of Assessors. Would be Mr. Stokes' appointment from post 4. Would any of the post commissioners like to put any of the consent agendas in our regular business for this afternoon? Under old business, we have none. Under new business, number 6 is public hearing for the abandonment of the portion of Roper Road that is bounded by property owned by the Hitchcock family. And at this time, we will have an open public hearing on this, and I'll call the public hearing to order and ask for Mr. Jones to give us amplifying information, please.
Yes, sir. As you'd said, we requested the board hold an abandonment hearing for a portion of the old Roper Road. This request will follow the abandonment of road procedures followed by the state under OCGA Section 32. This section of Roper Road has a 60-foot right-of-way and a 20-foot paved surface. Roper Road has been closed since the realigned Pool Road, now known as Metromont Road, was opened up over 10 years ago. The previous crossing at Roper Road intersected the railway at the railroad at a skewed angle and offered basically undesirable vertical geometrics. Paulding County worked in conjunction with Norfolk Southern Railroad and Hiram Communities to install the newer crossing that's now Metromont Road. So in concurrence with that improvement, Norfolk Southern requested the county to close this old portion of crossing at Roper Road. The Roper Road remnant was left to serve only the property owned by Brian Scott and Geneva Jean Hitchcock. This crossing was approved for closure at the March 13th, 2007 Board of Commissioners meeting and has been barricaded to the public since that time. There are no other property owners abutting Roper Road in this area. The proposed abandonment area is 0.979 acres and 0.155 miles in length. All the work to complete this project was done years ago, and this is basically the final step to complete the project and clean up. We recommend the board approve this abandonment of the former Roper Road, and if approved, the chairman will have the authority to sign a quitclaim deed for .979 acres to Brian Scott and Geneva Jean Hitchcock. And I'm available for any other questions if you have any.
Just a long, drawn-out process that takes us long?
It was just one of those things. I think it was just a minor cleanup, and we overlooked it over time. But obviously this work was done years ago when Scott was a director. The meat of it was done. This was just one final step to clean it up and move on. I guess he wanted me to have something to do, so he gave it to me.
Well, this time we'll open up for public comment. Would any citizens like to speak regarding Roper Road? Seeing that no one would desire to speak, we'll close the public hearing. And thank you for your information, George.
Thank you.
New business number 7 is discuss action to authorize the chairman to enter into an agreement with Heath and Lineback Engineers Incorporated in the amount of $184,252.64 for preliminary engineering design services for the Dabbs Bridge Road / Harmony Grove Church Road intersection improvement project. This is located in Post 4. Mr. Jones to report also.
The current signalized intersection at this location was put into operation in August of 2011. The current layout has some limitations, particularly with the vertical. Obviously, you can't see over the crest hill at Harmony Grove, and as part of that, the signal has protected only left turn phases. You can't have permissive only because you just don't have the sight distance to effectively perform those movements. Harmony Grove Church Road serves as a collector roadway and also provides connectivity for the North Paulding School campus and all the schools, the elementary, the middle, the high school, etc. This area experiences high peak hour traffic flow. Typically on a roadway in the county, your peak hour to day movement is about 8 to 9%. In this area, we're looking at closer to 25%, like on Bob Grogan, 25% of your daily traffic is just in the AM peak hour period. So that basically shows you how much traffic is going through here in the AM time period. This intersection, experiences lengthy queue lengths and significant delays for motorists, particularly in the northbound direction on Harmony Grove Church Road. We contracted with Heath and Lineback engineers to look at and provide a concept report to determine the most cost-effective way to proceed forward for an intersection that provided improved flow and capacity. Based upon the concept report, 2 alternatives were proposed. The first alternative was shown to experience significant delays over time and would have a failing level of service over the 20-year design period. We look at intersections to provide a 20-year workable lifespan. It's hard to project any further than that, but you want an intersection to work acceptably within a 20-year after it's opened up to traffic. The second alternative included lengthened turn lanes and additional through lanes on Harmony Grove and was shown to provide a better level of service and would operate acceptably over a 20-year time period. The alternative is projected to provide a favorable cost benefit of 9 to 1. Basically, for every dollar spent, you're going to get $9 in benefits in terms of reduced crashes, motorist time savings, gas savings. At this point, we recommend proceeding forward with the engineering requiring the right-of-way for this project and funding construction as appropriate. So, essentially, we're asking the board to approve this preliminary engineering for Heath and Lineback. And if you need any more information, I'll provide you.
You have an idea how long it will take Heath and Lineback engineers?
I think we're looking at an 18-month timetable on this, I believe, sir.
What about time of construction? What do you think?
Once started, I think you're probably looking at a two-year time frame on something like this, Commissioner.
So we're 3.5, 4 years away from...
Right, and again, it's all depending on when we allocate the construction dollars for that.
Yeah. That sounds like Scott time.
But again, I think it's important to get this work ongoing so we have it ready to go when that time period, and we do have the construction dollars allocated towards it.
You think of anything else to say about the crash data, and fatalities?
I mean, over the years on Harmony Grove Church Road, there's been different areas where we've had fatality crashes. At the intersection itself, I don't believe we've had any since the signal has been in, but there's some curvature locations to the south of this intersection and to the north that we've had some fatality crashes. We actually have an ongoing project right now on Harmony Grove Church Road, just south of Graves Road in that curve area, near Harmony Hills, and we're working on getting that one complete. It's pretty much done. We've got the actual asphalt in place. So that's one location that was identified as a mitigation improvement project, which we've done. And there's two other curve areas that we have on that roadway that we're looking to provide engineering and construction funding for as appropriate.
Now, you say you can look 20 years in the future for design or whatever. I'd like to see what was designed 20 years ago, because that was about a dirt road.
Exactly, and some of these things that you can't really project over time. I'm sure back, the schools were opened up in 2006, 7. I'm sure back in 1987, nobody thought, those school campuses were going to be in place. So you do the best of what you have in terms of data, but obviously conditions and situations change over time, and, we have to adapt and provide solutions that work with the funding we have. And your support, of course.
Thank you, George, for those thorough reports today.
Thank you.
That's the conclusion of regular business. We have no executive session today. So under participation on non-agenda items, no one is signed up, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn by Commissioner Stover. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Caker. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? 5-0, we're adjourned.